Okay, we're back. This is Jim the Keys Bartender. I'm here with Papa Joe
Papa Joe's here.
for the Keys Bartender Show. We had a week and a half off, and it's been a while since you've been on. I think we've been doing, COVID. This was the COVID funk, I guess. You know, the COVID-19 funk down here. Even though everything's rolling down here, it was just, getting together to do a show and things like that. It's been.
Well, I think everyone. You have holidays that kind of crept up, and everyone's getting burnt out.
Yeah, and there was added for me. I still have that Damocles. How do you say it? Damocles sword? Sort of Damocles hanging over me. That surgery, which is for the listener, I have the 9th scheduled date for the same surgery, and I'm considering options that are outside the country. But I'm happy to have you back here. I missed you, buddy. And
it's good to be back.
Yeah. It was up until we went through a tropical storm / almost hurricane. It depends on what you're going to.
Yes.
Ada, right?
Ada,
the Greek alphabet. And it was, there was a lot of damage. We still got trees and things like that out there. How'd you fare?
We fared fine. It was a lot of leaves and little broken branches and stuff. Some neighbors had some more damage. But hey, I drove on US 1, the highway leading out of the Keys, because I went to the mainland for the first time since then. And I didn't realize just how much damage there was from the wind and the water. I mean, there's fence down, there's boats that are abandoned and that were driven into the mangroves down US 1.
I'm thinking I don't think I've been up on the mainland since Ada.
You remember after Wilma?
How long ago was it? 3 weeks ago?
A little longer, maybe a
4
month.
weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I'm looking. I mean, I'm sorry. We don't. Maybe we'll do a video component and set up something. I'm looking up to the left. I'm going, what fucking day was this that I did? I wanted to start out and thank everyone that contributed to the medical fund. What happened is one of the dates. After one of the dates, they decided to go with a surgical center in order to take it outside the hospital loop and not be in that thing where you're getting restrictions due to it's a hot button issue. People get, it's not really that bad and all that stuff. But that has been my surgeries have been canceled for that. So that means they did not want to take money for surgery. So that must mean there's something. When someone closes down voluntarily, which the hospital did, they weren't told to by any authority to close down to. It was the hospital administration choosing that. So right now they moved it to the surgical center, and the surgical center need money up front for it, and it was outside of my purview. And I laid out a lot of. I've been. Preliminary tests and stuff like that. It's just eating up my funds every time I have to go back for it and not get it surgery.
Absolutely, because it's almost a game, you know.
Yeah. Well, I realize it's not me.
No, but
it's not all me. Now today, I'll get out of this because I just aired that and I thanked everyone. Thank you. I mean, Thanksgiving was up, but it was really interesting today. My big thing today, besides taking care of the other things I need for my family, was to have you here to do the show. And this is going to be really interesting. Okay. It's where you're in your head, you think that everything's against you.
Right.
But it's just a series of unfortunate events, just like it was a title of a movie. I think Lemony Snicket's or something like that. Series of unfortunate events. That's what it was today. So I went and I had to take care of a bunch of I was mailing out bills taking care of some utilities and stuff like that, and doing something with the car, getting some gas, and then going to the supermarket. So, and then the hardware store. So with going to the supermarket, I'm in the supermarket looking around and stuff like that. Nothing really bad. Nothing's happened yet. So I go in there, and all of a sudden, as I get my stuff, I start backing up, and there was no one next to me when I came out. I was in the middle of the parking lot, and some guy pulls up next to me with a trailer. And I look at the trailer. It's one of these utility trailers, a flatbed for driving equipment on, and it had a big triangle shape at the back, which you didn't see. So you had the whole trailer and this 2-foot extension on the back of the trailer.
Okay.
Heavy duty. And I back up my, I don't want to call it a piece of shit, but it's an older car. And it gets hung up. The bumper gets hung up on it at the back, and it's stuck in there. And it rips out the whole thing.
Oh, man.
Pulls it out. It's a nice big gouge in there. And nothing, obviously, the trailer. And I was angry at the guy, but I realized that he just pulled the trailer up and stuff like that. But it was like his edge of the trailer was over the line and stuff like that, and I should have been aware of that.
Yeah,
He was 8 inches from my bumper. So when I turned the park out of there,
right,
I didn't realize how far back the thing, and I got stuck in there. So that's one thing. Okay, that's one. And then the next thing, I'm going. I push the thing in. There's a little gouge in there and stuff like that. It's not horrible, but it's there, and I get that back in. I drop off my groceries, and I go to a hardware store. Now, it's funny. I go in there, and I have this board, and the guy at the counter, I said, listen, what I want to get is I want to get as much yield out of something this height. It's around 48 and a quarter inches wide. I got to get 4 boards like this. So what size you have and what kind of yield can I get out? He said, what do you mean? I said, I don't know the terminology, but I need whatever strips of plank you have. So he sums up and hits it for $109 for, and I go, and I'm not really paying attention when I pay. I thought it was 9, and I look at it, and it ended up being 11 at the end. But he thought 3 pieces of high-end plywood. And I had a board.
Full pieces of plywood?
Yeah, and I had a board. I had the board that I wanted it measured against. And I'm holding it. I said, I need 4 of these. And he goes and extends the whole thing to plywood, high-end plywood, at $34 a piece.
Right.
And I go and look at it, and they go, well, where's your truck? And I said, I'm going to carry my car. And they go, really? And I'm like, well, and he start pulling out plywood. I said, I don't need that. See this board? He said, I thought that's your measuring standard. Oh, you wrote standard on it. I wrote standard on it.
Oh.
Right? And that's...
So he saw what he saw, but he didn't hear a word you said.
Yeah, he wasn't saying so.
Yeah.
So I had to go back in. So that's eating up my time. I go in there and go, what the fuck? I had to go in there. I said, listen, what I need is this. I was trying to make it as easy as possible because I didn't know what kind of. I just need
well,
good
there's
board.
Your problem. You tried
there
to
it
make
is.
it
I just made easy, and I said I need 4 of these. I want to get the best yield out of a piece, so I don't waste wood. Right? I don't need a bunch of scrap. So if it's a 2 10-feet pieces that have to be cut into 4, that's great, you know. And we don't have any 10-foot. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden it's board, and they do have 10 feet. So I ended up getting that. So, yeah. So that took like 15, 20 minutes, and I'm like, what am I on? And I come here, and I'm getting set up, and I put a little selection of, I wanted you to have, because it was lunchtime, I wanted to.
Well, that was very nice of you. But, yeah, you did well.
Some mints.
Bada bing, bada bang, you got it all covered.
And I turn on the computer, and it's updating. So I got 25 minutes. And it updates, and all of a sudden when it's ready to shut down, it shuts down, and I turn it back on. It says, all work and repair. Blank screen.
Wonderful.
Right there. And I go, wow, 3 separate things. And if you were going to take them all together, just like the surgeries, the 9 dates, you'd say, oh, and everyone, with the platitude saying everything happens for a fucking reason.
Everything just happens.
It
You
just
leave,
happened.
leave the
And
for
you know
a
what?
reason
But
out
the
of it.
amazing part is to be able to adapt. And then eventually I said, I turn it off. And in my head, I'm thinking with the computer, it's never going to fucking turn on again. I'm going to have to get a new hard drive or something like that. Or just get a new laptop, which laptops are, a couple $100 now. But I didn't want to lay out. I only use this for podcasting, and I don't do anything fancy with it. I don't download. I don't even check my emails on it.
Right.
So
It's your
this is
podcast.
it. Yeah, the only stuff I do is download some graphics for the titles for the
Right.
title show.
Sure.
It came on, and you're here, and I realized. Do you ever get that? You realize when you get down that rabbit hole and you think, "Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad," and
Yeah.
you put you in a bad place.
Don't you think we all have that tendency to think the stars are aligning against just us?
Yeah.
I think that's a human nature thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it's funny when you have a couple of dots in the course of the day of things that just didn't work out. You want to immediately connect the dots and say, life is fucking against me. And it's not, man, because if you ask the next guy, hey, has this ever happened to you? Everyone would say, yeah, it happens. Rise above it.
The way I look at it is saying, "Oh, I just got all my fucking bad shit out of the way." For the next month. Maybe this is December. This is it's not that bad. And in retrospect, it's really not that bad. Any of this stuff.
The only thing I agree with, everything happens for a reason, is if you are searching for what lessons am I to learn about myself in this turn of events. So it's a reflection inward, not outward.
Yeah.
In that sense, yeah, everything can happen for a reason. If you're reflecting inwards about what, how could I better myself, what opportunities are presenting themselves, then yeah. But I'm telling you, as a species, we don't seem to just have that as our default. It's almost like you have to be of an Eastern mindset to have that mentality. And in the West, I think that's our Achilles heel many times. We get down in the dumps, we get depressed. It could really ruin your day or your week by having just a couple of things go south on you. But you always have to remember, one, there's always someone who's got it worse than you. And two, pretty much everyone has these things happen to them, and you're not alone. That's what I tell myself. And I've been through some crazy, wicked, nasty shit. And yes, you get down in the dumps, but at some point you realize, I'm tired of feeling this way.
Yep.
Let's look at it. Wait a minute. The stars didn't just decide to call Joe Mosca's name and say, it's your day today, we're going to fuck with you. No, that just doesn't happen. Bad things, mediocre things, and great things, they just happen, So, but it is funny when you look back and you go, because you got to laugh about it. And you think, well, you can probably write a comedy routine about some of this stuff. Like the guy's listening to your explanation about this board. You got the damn board in your hands. And he says, yeah, I got you.
Well,
and then he sends you out to get giant planks of
he must have
plywood.
said, he's using this CBX stuff and all. I go, okay, whatever you call it. I need,
Yeah, well, he's calling it something else.
He's going something else. And you know what? I did carpentry for a little while. I just didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know the board. When someone gave you, I wasn't a journeyman or anything like that. I just did it for a while to see if I wanted to do it. But that being said, I wanted to say hi to why we have it in the back of my mind. While we were away.
Yes.
A friend of ours of the show, Ted, who's in the medical profession down here. He's also from my neck of the woods up in Philadelphia. He came in with his family one night. It was Halloween or right before Halloween. He came in with his wife and daughter Emily. Emily's this precocious little 13-year-old, hilarious girl, and she was dressed up like a wizard or like someone from Harry Potter.
Okay.
And they had something. I think she had said she would order a wand, but it didn't get in time. And I go, wand? I mean, you could have just gotten a stick out. Some places just look real hard. You'd find a stick, and then you just varnish it. You could, if you watch a little Harry Potter, it's just like a little stick. And then she goes, well, I said, well, why didn't you just go to the wand store they just opened up here? And she goes, really? I said, yeah, the Wands store. Wands. It's Wands and et cetera, et cetera. And I go, no, there's no Wands store in the Keys. There's no shoe stores. Why would there be a wine store?
True. There's sandals.
No
shoes.
I felt so bad. I mean, the one time I used a bullshit line, and it was just, this girl's hilarious. And Ted was telling me she just turned 13, and they live right up the road. They live right around the corner here on Gibraltar.
Okay.
And they just got his aunt or her grandmother just got her a little electric scooter.
Great.
And it goes 18 miles an hour and stuff like that, which is kind of fast for a kid and stuff. But it has lights and tail. And she goes, 13-year-old. Now, we're like everyone else in the continental United States with daylight savings time at around 5:30. It starts getting dark.
Right.
And she had it was 6:00 or 6:30, and they had swim. She's on a swim team, and she goes to her father and she goes, well, I talked to Mom and she said I could take the scooter down 3 miles down to.
Wow, really?
Yeah, no. The answer was no.
Yeah, okay.
The father looked at her and goes, you crazy? No. Like that, she tried that. She thought that up because the bike path down here is, I mean, just like how dark it is and the way people pull up to the intersections and stuff like that. You don't want your kid, the first time your kid's riding the bike at night with a light.
No, not 13 without the experience.
Even in the, I guess in the daytime maybe.
No, I wouldn't want my 13-year-old going 3 miles down the road and then in a block to the rec center to go
night.
on the swim
At
team
night,
for practice. At night, no, that's not going to work.
No, they stopped it. Then he asked his wife, and she said, "No, I never."
They're going to have their hands full in a year or two.
She's funny. She's a funny kid, and she's got a great sense of humor. But I remember when they said about driving. In broad daylight, I was riding my bike down here, and this is how attentive people are all over around the world. I'm riding the bike. I come up to, it's right at near this park in Key Largo called Hibiscus Park.
Right.
And at Hibiscus Lane, I stop, and a truck is there at the same time. And I'm ready to wave him. He waves me. So I got moving the bike through, and he started the truck up before I cleared the lane. And he hit my back tire and flipped me around. I landed on my feet. I had a little scrape on my leg, minor scrape on the leg, but the back tire was bent, really severely bent. It wasn't like knocking bent.
Was he not paying attention after?
I don't know.
Waving you.
It turned around. I'm looking into his driver's side window.
Right.
With the bike, and I'm just kind of shocked, and I'm happy that I'm not, laying on the ground. And I have to go, okay, well, I don't remember what was said, but I distinctly remember me getting the bike and putting it in his truck. And he said, now you're going to give me a ride home, right? And you're going to fix that bike. And I said, listen, this is my name and number. Just fix that bike and get it back to me. Okay, get that tire fixed, take it up to Jackson, get it fixed. And that'll be it.
And did he?
Yeah.
Oh, good guy.
I said, I'm not going to.
Well, he just a screw up.
Yeah. And he got it fixed and brought it back. And I said, yeah, just deliver it. Try to get it in a week, whatever. And listen, I'm saving you some money.
Yeah, you
some
are.
aggravation.
Because I'd have wrote him a ticket for all kinds of stuff.
I know. But he was a dog. So and that's the way it ended. Swear to God, it's not. I don't think too much more was said than that. I just said, I had his license plate number. And I said, listen, I just do it. I got your number. And I got friends on the sheriff's department thing. And I'm not going to say anything to them. Just get the bike back to me. Expect in a week or something. Call me if it's going to be later. And he had it back in a week, which was great.
The funny thing, that works really well with when people are inclined to do so with little vehicle mishaps, minor damage, maybe 300, 400, 500 even, which these days that could be a scratch. If people just cooperated and said, I messed up, let me fix it, go get your estimate, I'll pay. Let me tell you something.
Sometimes people go back on it.
There's people, no, it's true, But when it works,
Yeah.
the cops don't get involved. Your insurance companies don't get involved.
Yeah, you don't end up spending any more.
And the rest of us don't end up paying for it.
Yeah.
So when it works well. Unfortunately, here you probably get a lot of people more inclined to admit to the boo-boo and say, I'm so sorry, I'll take care of it, and follow through.
Yeah.
But where I worked in Miami, as I assume any large city, that's probably not the usual circumstance. People cooperating. I found it was just quite the opposite.
Well, I've
they
heard
just drive off, and
there
they
were people that I've heard the same story where they went and they exchanged numbers and all that stuff, and then finally the person starts, and there's more of that in there too. And I got more of that too. So you drink up that soda there. But like I say, Joe likes Mexican Coke, and that's Coca-Cola to you people. So we're in the midst of what we get, as much of a cold spell as we get down here. It could get a couple degrees colder. But last night, a cold front moved in. It dropped into almost upper 50s, 60. Not cold enough to knock the iguanas out yet, I don't think.
No, unfortunately. And don't get mad because they don't all just die when it gets cold. They go into hibernation or stasis. Yeah, they will come back to life when it gets warmer. They just freeze up like a brick.
Yeah,
when it gets
start
cold.
Hearing falling out of trees and
right,
shit
they'll
like
fall
that.
right out like over the mangroves that hang over the water. And when you drive your boat down the waterways, not an unusual occurrence in the Keys to have an iguana just fall from the sky because they fell out of the branch and land in your boat.
It's funny. I don't know why that brings up what I remember. This is a Keys story. Recently, I'm at the bar doing what I do, bartending, and someone starts relating this story to me. And I don't know if it was you or anybody else. They said waterfront. We talk about how little property crime there is in the Keys.
Right.
That most of the crime is people involved in nefarious enterprises, right? The ones that the violent crimes. There are things that drug problems. There's domestic disputes.
Domestics, bar fights, and some drugs. That's the big thing.
I call that nefarious. If you bad intent, I guess anything bad in property crimes have. But one I didn't realize is that people, and it may have been Tyler that mentioned it or someone else, that people along the coast and along the canals, some people ride their boats and they see vacation homes that are unattended, right? And they scope them out.
What mile marker are we at here? 102?
102.
Okay. So when you get to the 105, and for those that don't know, when you enter the Keys, you enter the county line at the 113 mile marker, and then everything in the Keys goes by mile markers. Key West, of course.
Counting down.
You count down to 0. So when you're at 0, you're as far as you can go. You're in Key West. Mm-hmm. Okay, so up here, we're in the northern part of the Keys. From the 106, which is about where the houses start, 105 and 104, there's still a lot of that transient boat traffic from Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put a lot of this on Miami-Dade because it's really not so much a local issue. Because the people that have been caught, they're from Miami-Dade. And they'll bring their boats down here and they'll scope out. And if you have a vacation home and a boat up on a lift, well, and you're closer to the north end, ergo you're closer to Miami-Dade, easy getaway, right, outside the jurisdiction of the Monroe County authorities.
Yep.
Then your boat motor, your navigation equipment on the boat, perhaps even the house. Although it's not usually the house, is it? It's usually jet skis, GPSs, and outboard engines. And it's not unusual for that stuff to be stolen. Mm-hmm. Doesn't happen as often now, but it comes in spurts and waves, you know? You'll have a group that just decides, hey, let's do this because, it must never have been thought of before. Unfortunately, I worked the highway patrol for 28 years, and this stuff's been going on, hit and miss, on and off, my entire career. So it happens, but it happens up. It happens that way.
Well, it's.
It happens.
I want to be able to not cast aspersions on people outside the area, but people have a tendency when they're going to go and break into places, they don't do it in their own neighborhood.
No,
they go outside their neighborhood. I'm going to take a quick pause because we're going to come back. I just want to put a pin in this for a moment. 3, 2, 1. We're back. So, no, this way I'm going to put in 2545, and I know I can put a commercial in there. 25. This is what I look.
Most criminals.
When I was growing up in Philadelphia, there was a family, guys, and they are Irish Catholic. I'm Irish Catholic, but their last name were the Kellys, and the Kellys had a reputation for stealing in the neighborhood. It was pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Because once you do it, people are always. What you did is you put your neighbors on alert to what you're doing. So you have all these private investigators now watching where you're going, what you're doing, what time you're doing it. Oh, I've seen him bring a bike. I've seen him on this.
Right.
I've seen him on that. And it was a stupid thing to do. So almost anywhere in the world, if you're going to steal, they're going to go outside the area. There's organized people that do property crime. There was a famous story at Close Range, that bad Sean Penn and Madonna movie. Madonna did the music for it, but Sean Penn was in it. And it's a family of people in Western Maryland. They stole tractors and shit, and it was kind of like hillbilly gangsters almost.
Oh,
Christopher
God.
Walken was in it.
Then it couldn't have been a bad movie. He's been in some stinkers, but
yeah.
he's always fun to watch.
But they would go to, in wherever they lived. I never watched the movie. I'm making an assumption of the movie I didn't watch. I'm assuming they did not steal from their neighbors.
No, I mean
you don't steal. You don't. I mean, it's funny. The reason thieves don't steal from the neighbors is not because they think, "Oh, I love my neighbors." No, they're thieves. They're thieves. They don't steal from the neighbors because it's just like if you're grifters, they got grifters. You have travelers. I hate that, any stereotype. There's groups of people that are known to do it, and
right.
they
people that kind of
stereotype
roam around.
Yeah, I know, but they call them like that. I hate to even use that.
No, but let's face it. They're proud of it. Why not be proud of it for them?
I know, but they usually don't do it.
They don't do it where they live.
Yeah, and there's people that were living here that's what they did. They were palm readers, and the men did something else, which I don't know because they didn't do it here. And the palm readers do it for tourists.
Right.
Because once you get someone in the area, then they go and talk. Sorry. Oh, they took $500 from me, or they did this.
They're just confident shysters.
No, but they do it to travelers, just like the guys. Right. But down in Key West, you heard the stories about the guys, the fragrance and skincare people on Duval Street?
No.
Oh, for a couple of years, it was incredible, right on Duval Street. There was these guys, and they had a permanent group of protesters near their place of business. It's on Duval Street. You go in there, and you never see anybody in there. You just have a couple salesmen in there giving away little pieces of soap and trying to get people to come in.
Okay.
And what they bring you in and say, they sell you skincare products and stuff like that, and you think you're going to pay like $40, $50, and you end up walking out with $700, $800, and sometimes older people getting even some incredible stuff. And they had all these complaints of disreputable business practices.
Right.
And eventually, with this COVID-19, it's put I don't know if it broke before then that they stopped doing business, but this definitely did it. Because everyone in the neighborhood knew what they were doing, and they if you don't have the tourists, then
you get how many on a cruise ship? 3,000,
more or less. Whatever you can pick it, 1,500, 2,000.
No, I think
3,
there were the
000.
super ships, about 3,000 people once or twice a day. That's 3,000 to 6,000
And
people.
It's in the middle of
and they're tourists
they
and they're
book
hungry.
them in Key West. They had them like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Right. Well, that's a lot
Something
of
like that.
people, and that's and what city wants to be known of for having any business that's going to bilk the visitors? No, you don't. You don't build a worldwide reputation that
almost anything. If you're a tourist town and you have a reputable business, and you're in the Chamber of Commerce.
No city father
my good friend
would put
Bob
up with that
Thomas
nonsense.
owns Key Largo Chocolates.
Right.
He has excellent business practices. Really good. He's all about the community and stuff like that. Doc from Doc's Diner, Doc
Right.
Bellini. They all care about and Kathy, the owner of the Catch. It's not just how you're treated in their establishment. It's how you're treated when you're out by other places, because you want a warm, welcoming,
It just takes
safe environment.
One fly-by-night shyster to start, and especially in a small town, because it is a small town like Key West. Let's face it, all the Keys are known as Key West, right? Because it's such a tourist place, so it draws that many people.
I'm looking for the shopping district. You get someone that pulls up to you.
Yeah.
Let's say you're at Divers Direct at mile marker 100 or 99.5, and they go, where's the main shopping district? I said, well, you're kind of looking at it. Or Tradewinds. No, where you can go walk. I said, you can walk here. No, there's hundreds of businesses. I said, between here and Marathon maybe, and I go, are you talking about Key West? You're talking about Duval Street. Key West. Yeah, Key West. Well, this is mile marker 99.5. You got to go to mile marker 1.
Right.
And it goes, what? And now I'm like, yeah, that's the math. 99 and a half to 98.5 miles. And, you're not going to drive on, you're not going to be getting down there for a couple hours.
Right.
And they get so pissed off and stuff like that. Oh, who the fuck doesn't look at a map and check out the key?
Especially today, because you can't query something without the damn map showing up first. But it happens all the time, doesn't it?
You go to Texas.
Am I in Key West?
I'm in Texas. I'm looking. Let's say you're in the Panhandle. Where's the Alamo? 700 miles.
Right. Look it up.
Yeah, 700 miles. You're a fourth of the way across the country.
It's like going to Dallas and ask, where's the Rio Grande?
Yeah.
Well, it ain't here.
Yeah.
Get a little closer.
I know. We're
it just
and with the access you have nowadays to Google and
that's
Alexa
what I'm saying.
and all
you
this.
can't get on your smartphone, query a location or a business, and not have the little map icon.
I think what happened is they go, how far is the Keys? And it's Keys. But they didn't make the next intellectual inquiry in their head. The next intellectual inquiry was, how long are the Keys?
Right.
You're from Catalina. Catalina's a couple miles long, right? Oh, just get there, and there we are. We're in the Keys. Yeah, but it's like going to Hawaii and being on the wrong fucking island.
Right.
Oh, where the falls? The Kilauea Falls and whatever falls. And I mean, well, you got to get on a plane.
Right. You got to get to the island of
Or
wherever. What island is that on?
I don't know. I don't know what that. But I'll tell you what. If I was there, I would know.
Yeah, you'd look.
I
it
would
up,
know to
wouldn't you?
check it out. Yeah.
I'd want to know what my.
No, unless you're in Vatican City.
Give me an itinerary.
In Vatican City or Monaco. You go, it's like, well, how far are you in Vatican City? I got to get to here. It's less than a quarter mile across. You just go, you can point to every section you need to go. Well, there's the Sistine Chapel over there. Or you're in Monaco, which is like 2 miles wide.
Right, it's a micro dot.
Yeah, and just go.
Or
Liechtenstein, Andorra.
Liechtenstein, San Andrea, Andorra.
San Marino.
Exactly.
Malta. Yeah. Malta's a little bigger, though.
A little bigger. It's the small. Yeah, it is a little bigger, but it's still small.
Yeah. So that's well. You just remember there's a long string of keys, a lot of fun places to do. And then the next thing we talked about the beginning of COVID when they started shutting down the beaches in Miami.
Yeah.
And the French people came up to me and go, we want to go to a beach. There's no beach. And I said, you came down to a place that doesn't have any beaches. He goes, what do you mean there's no beaches? And with the accent. And I go, geography, buddy.
Yeah, we have rocks
The
and
Keys.
coral reefs.
Yeah, and then the French. I said you should know that. You got a bunch of atolls. The French have some atolls in the Pacific and stuff like that. So, where were we on that? You know what? We had like 35 minutes. We should just do a little pause and do a second show.
Let's do it.
Yep, and take a little break. I did thank our listeners. I've what else? I'm forgetting to do something sometimes. I am forgetting to do. Oh, listen, we haven't been on for a while. I know there hasn't been a lot of downloads and stuff like that. We're away. We're getting away from our former media group that we were with, and we're doing our own thing. We may join another network, but I don't know if we necessarily would want to join. Make it geographic or more content association, because it turned out, when, here we are, a show, we're throwing out the F note and stuff like that. And supposedly there's a radio show. Someone was trying to tell me a radio show down in Key West where, you can say whatever you want. I said, I beg your pardon. If it's on the radio,
Not on the radio.
There's a fine.
Yeah, there's some FCC regulations. You just can't say profanity.
It's not. I'm not saying it's better or
No,
worse.
you just can't do it on the radio.
You just can't do it. It's public airways, and it's how they're regulated and stuff like that. So, and one of the guys was supposed to be on this show when I did
the other show?
No, the show from Key West.
Right.
He was a bartender down there, and it's supposedly his show. But I wonder if they're pissed off that I took the Keys bartender name. But that's been 3 years. I have some other ideas. We're going to be coming to you with I have some advanced excerpts in the coming months of Melania Trump's memoirs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do. And I'm trying to get someone who could read them. So the first one I'm going to attempt to do myself, but we do have an advanced copy of it, and I don't want to tell anybody where I got it from or anything like that. I call it my deep throat, and not that I'm the deep throat, but my informant, informant that I call deep throat, was kind of appropriate for Melania Trump.
I think so.
So-
well, no, it'd be shallow throat. But in any case.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's her capacity, not what she has to handle right now.
Yeah,
I don't think she touches anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, this is. I'd like to thank Papa Joe. We're gonna say thank you.
You're welcome.
Whatever.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Whatever. And if you do like the show, please share the show. Like us on Facebook, Twitter. I'd say Instagram, but I really don't do a lot on Instagram. We don't do a lot of video component. But I'm considering once the vaccine comes out or anything, you'll probably have to get it.
I will definitely get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to get it for. It'd be my responsibility to get it as a decent human being, being in the service industry and also working at the hospital. So once that comes around, maybe we'll be able to go back out again and do some remotes from different places. It's not really hard with the equipment you have. Thank you. I'm going to sign off. Take care, and we'll have another episode coming to you.
Cool.
Bye. Yeah, I got that man.
Do you really?